Dating. In dating, there is one thing that not a lot of kids really figure out before they even go on a date or get a girlfriend, if you guys know what I mean. If you're 12, 13, 14, you know, and never had a girlfriend, most of you would probably make this mistake. During dating, you got to remember that, sure, you get a girlfriend or whatever, serious or not serious, you got to remember not to become reliant on that girlfriend. And sure, other people are different, so I'm not saying don't get a girlfriend if you want to save time. When you get your first girlfriend, you got to remember not to become complacent, because no relationship, or I'm not going to say no relationship because some do work out, but no relation, or pretty much not many, maybe 20% of relationships work out, or even 20% is pushing it, but let's just say 20% of relationships, they might work out when you're dating at 13, 14. Other than that, no teenager relationships kind of last until marriage. So the only thing you're going to gain from a girl, and I'm not saying this if you think that's different, or you think you can get a girlfriend at the age of 14, 15 and then marry her in the future. If you think that, go for it. I mean, I can't be the one to tell you not to. But the point is got to remember, most of these relationships won't last, meaning you only gain really one or two things from the relationship, which is experience in dating and experience in the bedroom. Okay, so those are pretty much only the two things you can gain, and that's if you and your partner decide to even go that far. So you got to remember that most of these relationships won't last. Some of them will when you're like older, like 16 or 15, maybe you'll go longer because you guys are going to be more serious. But if you're 12, 13, most of your relationships that you have won't last until marriage. So you got to remember the time is limited. Do not become reliant on that girl, because you got to remember there will be a time where you guys will eventually have to depart ways. And that's true. Not many relationships last from when you're 13. I never have ever heard of a boy/girl getting a boy/girlfriend at the age of 12 or 13, 14, and it lasting until marriage and they live a happily life ever after. I've never heard of that. Never. Okay, never. So you gotta remember that most of these relationships won't last. So do not become reliant on that girl, because once that girl goes, then you're just going to feel a sense of depression. You're going to feel like you just lost someone if they depart ways. And that's true. You got to remember this relationship might not work out, like in the future. Meaning we might have to depart ways sooner or later or sooner. Meaning eventually you guys will probably depart ways. Meaning if you're relying on her, you're going to feel that sense of depression and feel that sense of loss. Now, I'm not saying, be dry or just fucking ignore your girlfriend if you've got one. But just remember that the younger you are, the less chance it is of the relationship lasting. So, I'm not saying relationships don't last. This is more for the 12, 13, 14-year-olds. So just remember, don't be reliant on the girl. Be reliant on yourself. You can become complacent in a relationship. I'm not saying don't, but I'm just saying if you do, just make sure, if something does go down, if shit does hit the fan, you can keep that in mind and still be complacent on yourself when that does happen, or if that does happen. If you guys did get something out of this video, or you enjoyed it, or even watched this far, make sure to leave a like and a subscribe. Helps me out a ton. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Latest, brother.